I think that's when they say that अरे तेरा ड्रिंकिंग करने का कैपेसिटी बढ़ गया है इसके लिए तू हाई
And
नहीं हो
people
रहा
take
है.
it as and people take it as a compliment.
Yes, exactly.
So I can drink as much as I like and nothing happens to me. Arey,
Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. Once again, episode
thank you,
number
Amit.
2. Thank you so much. This is episode 2, and I'm so excited. There was such great response to the first episode, and people are so
Wow.
inquisitive and they want to ask so many questions. And of course, one of the questions and one of the queries that I had received, and it was very interesting, was about the number of avenues that for entertainment that our teenagers or youngsters have these days is partying or doing multiple things. Of course, there's sex, drugs, cigarette, alcohol. There's so much happening around. And of course, there's Instagram and there's social media, which is another addiction now. I think today I would like to focus on addiction.
Okay.
And how about we start with parents? How do they deal with this situation, especially when they come across this kind of a situation?
First thing first, what everybody needs to understand, whether it is parents or counselors or teachers or even, uh, I don't like to use the term addicts, but the person who is already addicted.
Yes,
Addiction begins from small little things, like you mentioned,
mm,
social media, for example. Now,
correct.
we may not find anything wrong with somebody being online all the time
Yes,
initially,
exactly.
but then there's a very thin line, and the person has already reached the stage of addiction. So, where is this coming from?
Mm,
And more often than not, you will see that it has a lot to do with what the others around me are doing, and the
mm,
idea of wanting to belong to that community, if I may use the term,
mm,
that
correct.
social circle,
The tribe that they want to
the
follow,
tribe, the tribe that they want to follow, that they want to be a part of,
part
where
of.
they want to get accepted. There's this wonderful author and speaker that I often quote, Louise Hay. How Louise explains addiction, she connects it directly with the idea of self love, lack of
Yes,
self love.
yes,
If you really care for yourself, if you really care for yourself, if you really want the best for yourself, you wouldn't do anything that is going to harm you.
correct.
Now, how much of those things you are doing which are harming you
Mm,
will show you how much lack of self love exists. Because we
yes.
all of us do something or the other that is not good for us. Simple example,
Mm,
across humanity all over the world, everybody knows that we are supposed to exercise every day and we are supposed to eat healthy, right?
yes,
How many of us actually do it?
not many.
Yeah, exactly. So how often we look after ourselves is directly proportional to how much we really care for ourselves.
Correct,
Yeah. So
correct.
anything, when you do anything that is not good for you, harming yourself, it is a direct reflection of lack of self love, self
Mm,
respect.
yes.
So it may start off with, I want to look cool,
Mm,
because we equate, see, as a child, when we are growing up, we see our parents, guests who come home, everybody is having tea. And the child,
mm,
a 3-year-old child wants to drink tea. No, 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 children are not supposed to. What is
mm,
the message you have fed? When you grow up, you can. Children, you cannot.
mm. Yes,
Yeah. So you are now waiting to grow up to do that thing which you were told that children cannot do. So how do
correct.
you prove that I'm no longer a child? Is by doing things which only grown-ups can do. Chai is a very simple example.
Yes.
I remember when we were students, that time the government, these government short films that used to come
Mm,
on TV and all. I don't know if that still happens on Doordarshan. I'm not sure. I was myself a teenager that time, so I
Yes.
had that ad had a very big impact on my head, on
Okay.
my thinking. The lines were, with a cigarette in my hand, I felt like a man. I mean, again, nowadays people will take it to gender bias and all, but the idea was not a boy anymore and a
Yes.
man. Yeah,
Maybe powerful is what they wanted to
powerful.
show,
Yeah, grown up,
stylish,
grown up,
grown
grown
up.
up,
Yeah.
grown up. I'm not a child anymore. Don't take me lightly. You see others around you trying,
Hmm.
and they making fun of you, saying, "Oh, ye to bacha hai. Don't offer him or her." So you want to
Correct.
prove that no, I'm not a bacha anymore, and I can do this too. That is one peer pressure, what we call. Yeah, that
Yes.
is one big reason. And this one may begin like this.
Hmm.
Once your
Hmm.
brain gets addicted to that kick that you get with this substance consumption,
Hmm. Hmm.
then beyond a point you cannot do without it. You cannot function without it.
Correct.
I always give this example that, see, for example, chai and coffee is almost available in every household, right?
Yes. Yes.
They also have medicinal properties.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're consuming them as medicines, there is no problem.
Correct. There has to be a limit.
Yeah.
True.
Now, if it's 5 o'clock in the evening and now I'm getting a headache because I didn't get my cup of coffee, boss, you're addicted.
Yes.
Admit.
Absolutely.
Unless I have my 2 cups of chai in the morning, I cannot pass motions. You are addicted.
True.
Yeah. Cigarettes.
Hmm.
So your body is then going to demand. And if you are fine with this quantity,
Hmm.
with regular consumption of this quantity, now your body is used to this. Now,
Hmm.
for the same effect, it is going to ask for more and more and more. And where do you draw the line?
I think that's when they say that अरे तेरा ड्रिंकिंग करने का कैपेसिटी बढ़ गया है इसके लिए तू हाई
And
नहीं हो
people
रहा
take
है.
it as and people take it as a compliment.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I can drink as much as I like and nothing happens to me. Are, as counselors, we deal with, and where, to your question about parents,
Hmm.
uh, saying to the child, don't do this. So, as a parent, when you tell your child, don't do this, usko malum hai, don't do this.
Hmm. Yes.
The fact that he or she is still doing it, you have to find out what is causing this self-hatred.
Hmm.
Why
True.
is this person wanting to hurt himself or herself, harm himself or herself? ऐसा
Yes.
क्या हो रहा है?
Ma'am, what is the first, if I mean, I'm sure again this is not foolproof, but what is the first step do you think that one should take to step out or start the journey of stepping out of the addiction that they are in?
You know, there was a story of Akbar Birbal.
Hmm.
I'm sure you must be knowing about it. Ki this is a line. Now, without erasing it, how do you make it smaller? So you
Yes,
draw a bigger line. So
correct.
somebody who's not interested in anything else and just stuck with doing the following the addiction all the time has to be given something more important.
Hmm. Yes,
Why is somebody into addiction? One of the biggest causes is they don't want to face reality. They don't like it.
true.
So they want to remain in their dream world. This is one of the
Correct.
biggest reasons. Of course,
Yes.
I'm not saying, like I said, there are no absolutes. Yeah, I'm not
Hmm.
saying that everybody who's into addiction has only this problem. But this is
Hmm.
one of the major problems, that they don't
True.
want to accept reality as it is. So they would rather remain uh,
Zone.
in their zone. Yeah, like they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why is that happening? Trying to find that out and uh, taking them into a different space. I mean, not in terms of physical space, but
Hmm.
a different space where they can start feeling worthy of something, where they can feel that They are also contributing in some way. They
Hmm.
are good enough to, be of use for someone or for something. These are issues which are going to take them away from these things. And I know of many examples where people eventually felt, oh, it's not as important. There are so many more important things to do in life, and they are
True.
able to come out of their addiction. But yes, the support, surrounding people, very important, very, very
Hmm.
important, whether it is friends, siblings, parents, very important.
Very important. A lot of time when you go and tell a friend, like I have had such situations in the community of my own and my friends where they have gotten into wrong company, and then they disappear for 3 days, and they would just come
Hmm.
out completely different looking person. But my point is, it's very important for them to realize. So how does someone make sure that they realize that they need help for the first time
That is where the people around come into the
around?
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what happens, whether it is parents, mostly parents, I have seen that they take it very personally.
Yes. Correct.
And honestly, if they just take it personally and behave accordingly, it would probably help the child. But they take it personally in terms of we have failed as parents. And the famous joke, Sharma ji ki beti ko dekh, ya Sharma ji ki
Comparison.
beti ko, the comparison.
Yeah.
Ki, we've done more for you than other parents, and still you are doing this. This
Mm.
kind of uh, argument is not going to take it anywhere. It is only going to make things worse. So people have to, acceptance is a very, very, very big tool, very
True.
big um, support. You have to first accept. You have to stop denying.
Mm.
Yeah, accept that there is a problem. Now there's no blame game because of you, because of you. Mhm. Now
Mm.
this is the reality. Now let's see what can be done about it. When we have
Correct.
this kind of an approach, then things can work. And the person in the question, the person who's addicted, A may not realize, like you said, you have to make them realize. B might not care enough. Yeah, theek hai na. At the most, what, I'll die. Big deal. I don't care.
Mm. Yes, that's the kind of attitude sometimes they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner the better.
Yeah.
That
That's
kind
the
of
kind of,
approach.
yeah.
Yeah. So
True.
that's why it's important to go into the root of why so much of self-hatred.
Mm.
Why do you hate yourself so much that you want to end this all completely? And
Yes.
that's where a good counselor comes into the picture, who can make you realize that you are actually meant for bigger things in life than just waste it on some substance like this.
Right. Right. And I think it's very important for people in general, all of us, even of course the teenagers and youngsters, to be a little more um, considerate when they speak. A lot of time now, the whole idea has become all about showing someone
Yeah,
down.
yeah. And I'll give you an example, really funny example.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm calling it funny, but it was real for her. So there's this
Okay.
girl I was once talking to. She was, I think, 26,
Hmm.
and she walked in to have a one-on-one session with me. And she comes in and she sits there and she just starts crying. Okay, I'm waiting that maybe, she's going through some real big trouble that she's finding it difficult to speak about. Maybe after she finishes crying, she'll feel better and she'll speak up. I'm waiting.
Hmm.
She's going on and on and on. And she's crying and crying and crying. I'm waiting. Then she's a little better. So I ask her, so you want to talk about what is bothering you? And again, she starts crying. I'm like in my head wondering, God, what all must have happened to this poor girl? She's crying and crying and crying. And then finally she musters up the energy and she speaks.
Hmm.
So she tells me that I'm really worried about, take a guess, what am I worried about? So she's worried about that she's not getting married. She's not yet married. I was like, how old are you? 26. Seriously. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Why do you want to get married, by the way? Was my question to her. You want to take a guess? Why? So she tells me that all my friends keep posting pictures on Facebook and Instagram about their wedding and
Oh
their
my God.
honeymoon, and I have nothing to post. Like, this is such a big problem in life. Can
Yes.
you imagine?
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh God. And I was like, you was like kidding. It's like, no, ma'am, seriously, my parents are also looking and we're not able to find anyone. I was like, इस देश का क्या होगा यार? If this is the
Hmm.
youth we are talking about, all the time comparing your life with your friends and that too on social media where everybody posts only good things that okay, I'm the happiest person around. Of course, to her I was like, instead of looking for someone, first you become someone who has
Hmm.
something to offer. Why
Hmm.
don't you become the uh, right wife that you think someone might need? Why are you only focusing on what you're looking for? Yeah,
Correct.
improve yourself, overcome your flaws, and all that stuff. I tried telling her, but it was a wake up call for me that this is something that can bother someone so much. This kind of
Hmm.
addiction, being stuck to the social media and checking yourself and checking others and things like that.
This gives a lot of open-ended conversation
Yeah, yeah.
gates to a lot of us. Hey, everyone, guys, once again, please ask questions to Divya Naithani. Write to me, and you can always access my website. I'm available on my website. Please follow ma'am on Facebook and Instagram, and do let us know what topics do you want us to discuss on. Thank you for suggesting this topic too. And yes, thanks a lot, ma'am, once again for
Pleasure, Anand.
this amazing in conversation. Thank you.